When Bryan and Finola investigate a mysterious otherworldly square that has appeared in a field, they come to understand new relations about our planet. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Debris Episode 3. So we start out this episode with an engineer working on a tower when she sees a strange translucent wall appear. So she goes up to it and she picks up a rock and throws it, and it goes through. So then she continues to walk towards the wall, and I thought she was going to touch it and get sucked in, and I was like, wow, that was going to be cool. I'm like, no way would I even come close to doing that, and then she doesn't, something scares her and she falls backwards, so she doesn't, which I cracked up laughing. I thought it was good. So we cut to Bryan having a CT scan at Langley, so he can be cleared for work again because of last episode. And they don't find anything wrong, so he's right back on the plane, and he's able to get, right back to work. And as Bryan and Finola arrive in Ohio, they end up going to the site, and they start investigating the wall that appeared. It's not there when they arrive, but they see video like from 30 minutes ago where they're showing the wall. So I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And as they're going through, they're hearing, they start to hear like voices, like a particular voice kind of in the background noise that they're receiving over like their radio frequencies. So they try to start communicating with it, and then, all of a sudden, boom, the wall appears again, and they start seeing things in it. So, this was kind of really cool, the way they did it. And we end up cutting to Maddox, and wherein he meets a Russian who wants to, and then basically they are going to make a trade for a piece of debris for another piece of debris, from how I took it. So it was really kind of cryptic on that. So we do learn a little bit more as the episode goes on about that. But yeah, this was a little cryptic meeting, and I thought it was kind of neat, but it kind of took away from what we were doing at the debris site. So, when we cut back to Bryan and Finola, they're still trying to communicate with whoever's in the wall, but they're also asking like where this piece of debris is, because they figure it's due to a piece of debris, but they can't find it, and they even make like a Bermuda Triangle reference in this as well, where they're saying like there's different like gateways around the world that sometimes people accidentally go through. So we do see that, and then they do end up finding the piece of debris, and they see that somebody is trying to haul it away with a truck. So it's basically this mysterious group that's been running around, because we do see them as well, trying to pick up pieces of debris. And as we go along, like they look across like this little clearing to the field where this wall keeps appearing. So I was kind of confused about how they didn't find it sooner, because it didn't look like it was that far away. They could literally see the field like, a little ways away, but it wasn't like an hour or more away, So I was kind of confused about that, like why they didn't find it faster, because typically I thought, when they worked, wherever the phenomenon was, they would spread out, and they would search outwards for, where, to find these pieces of debris, because they're not like right there exactly where the stuff is happening. So it was a little confusing. And it basically took almost an entire episode to find this piece, unlike last episode where they kind of found it in the middle of the episode and then they kept going through. No, I guess it was more towards the end, but like the things that they were doing made a little more sense in episode 2 than this one. For especially finding the the debris faster. But this episode ends with Maddox getting a call about what his team in England found with about George Jones's body. So I thought that was kind of a good ending to this. because it doesn't really even give you a hint of what's going to happen next week. So each of these little mysteries are one episode each. I kind of hope that they do find something where it takes them maybe like a couple episodes to figure out, to spread out the mystery a little bit more, to build it a little bit better. But so far this has been pretty good. I mean, this is only the third episode, and the wall I thought was actually really kind of cool, because in this scene here, Bryan starts walking up to it and then walks around it, and it's just like a thin wall. And he looks back and he's like, "Where's the debris? Why haven't we found it yet? It's got to be here someplace." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're still looking." So I thought that was really cool. So these effects I thought were pretty neat. The acting in this I thought was actually better. They're starting to, it's the third episode. They're starting to, how do I put it? Figure out the characters. So they're starting to get better, which I do like, because again, it's still the third episode. I'm not gonna rag on, how it was like super, like not super, but it was a little rough around the edges still. But it's only the third episode. Still pretty good though. This was a better acting so far, and we also really get to see Bryan is still struggling to keep the fact that Fionna's father is alive from her. He's really having a hard time with this. So you can see, like, even before this this season started, they were a team working together, and they were just starting to try to build trust. So I believe that they've probably been working together for months before the first episode. It just seems like it, because they're opening up to each other a little too fast, if that's not the case. So but I thought it was good. I thought this was a good episode overall. This episode was, again, we get the sense that the debris is linked to emotions. And we kind of see that as, like, the girl that they're communicating with is Nicole. And she's apparently a missing person from a few years back. And as she's more emotional, the signal strength for them to communicate with is stronger. So we really get the sense that each of these pieces are going to be linked to human emotions, to some type of emotion. And I'm hoping that, they might change it up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with emotions and bringing it in, but if it's just like the entire, season, it's just... it doesn't make sense from a sci-fi standpoint unless they're working with just one piece, like in a movie or something. But, we also get to learn a little bit more about the George Jones situation that's been brewing. So I thought this, again, was pretty good. I'd give it at least a 7.5 out of 10. I thought the acting was better. The effects in this were pretty good. I mean, the wall that kept appearing and disappearing, and you could see, like, pretty much human shapes in it. So I did think that was good as well. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this. Take care for now, everybody.